Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for December 10th through 13th, 2021. How are you doing? We're coming to a powerful culmination of the astrology of 2021, which has been off the charts, one thing after another. And through the end of this year and into January, the pressure cooker continues. Are you feeling it? So what we're feeling is Venus coming into conjunction with Pluto. This is exact starting tomorrow through the weekend into early next week. And then it will be exact again the 25th through the 27th. But really 3 full weeks of Venus in conjunction to Pluto as she begins to take a retrograde on December 19th. So Venus retrograde in Capricorn, keeping her right there with Pluto. She is going up against the man. She's going into council. We cannot go without her. And yet there she is standing all alone. And the weakest link, the one who's been cast aside, demonized, and thrown into the dungeon, beaten down and abused, burned, and you name it. And here she is, finding the last bit of her strength to stand with Pluto for the end game. We can't go without her. And yet, where's the masculine to stand with her at this time? Well, he's busy battling in the underground. He's in the tunnels, down in the depths of the darkest places at the end degrees of Scorpio. Mars, our warrior, being distracted from being able to stand next to the feminine and support her. She's the one. She's the key. This is what's been taken out of our society, cut from all of our spiritual teachings. And so it's going to be her that's going to get us back on track. But she can't do it alone. And there she is in council with Pluto. So this is really powerful energy. And so let's talk it through here. Venus will be taking that retrograde on the 19th, and that will be at 26 degrees Capricorn, retrograding back to 11 degrees Capricorn, and then turning direct on the 29th of January there at 11 degrees. Coming back, and as it comes out of retrograde shadow at the end of February, we'll come back into conjunction with Pluto. So it's quite a journey ahead of us. And this is a pressurized energy, particularly through the end of this year. There is such a culmination of this astrology. And so with Venus, Pluto, and Venus about to take a retrograde, it's this weakness and vulnerability of the feminine, which is her greatest strength. But how do we go up against all of the armies and the tanks and the guns? Oh, wait. Intuitive power is the true power. So with the current transits that we've had, Mercury in square to Neptune, this is bringing total confusion. What up, down, left is right? What are we doing? What's going on? And now the sun is coming into square with Neptune. So this is our Mercury, our conceptual reality, our perspective, the sun, who do we think we are? And we are just completely and utterly confused. What's going on and who are we? Now, when you are feeling confused, and we've all known this feeling in relationships, destructive forces, manipulative forces, this energy of confusion is a sure sign you're being manipulated. So the way out of the matrix, so we're seeing this external control in our world just so rapidly taking away our rights, and through domination and control and manipulation. And now we realize that there's no making sense of this, and it's total and utter confusion. And when you are confused, yes, That is the sure sign you're being manipulated. The battle outside of us is through external control, but the actual reality of the control we're fighting is right here in our mind. So supernova souls, what's happening is that externally in our world is this grand nightmare. It's that bloom of the Piscean age, the deepest, darkest paths that humanity has had to walk of external control, domination, persecution, and violence, trauma and drama, continually being inflicted upon us so that we can never get out of that trap. So the way out of the trap is through the mind and the matrix mind, and that has to be led by the feminine. Now, when we're talking feminine, we're not talking masculine and men and women. It's the masculine and feminine in all of us. Who's going to stand with her? Venus in Capricorn is about standing our ground. And isn't it interesting in this story that we're revisiting the Christ mythology as we have this bloom of the Piscean age. Now, what led the whole revolution of the Christ energy had to do with miracle healing and mystical revelation. And this is all coming up too with these squares with Neptune. Neptune is about the delusions and the confusion and the games and the movies of what in the heck is really going on, but also that Christed consciousness. And we need to ask ourselves, why is it okay for a man, the masculine, being in a male body, to do miracle healing? And that's called a miracle. That's called God. That's called Christ. But when the feminine did a miracle healing, that's the heretic, the witch, and the devil. Do you see where we're at here and what this astrology is saying to us? And here she is. Now she's the most valuable, beautiful asset we have because she's the only one who can take us home. And no one will stand with her. And so we can't go. And so it's like we're replaying these whole drama movie stories of the Piscean age. But supernova souls, we know we're here to co-create the dream. We have that sacred flame inside of ourselves that never went out. That hope, that love, and we know nothing can stop what's coming. And this is the end game. Finally, it's time for that feminine in all of us to stand up and break free from these chains, to stand her ground. So this is the power of Venus, Pluto in Capricorn. Now, Pluto represents mysterious energies of the future that we don't understand. This is our intuitive power. And it also represents fear of our own power. And that's how our power has been manipulated, stolen, and used against us. But when that power is backed into the corner and pressurized in the way we're doing right now, watch out. And so that is when the activation occurs. Right now is a time where supernova souls are being pushed into that corner, into that pressurized place, that coal becoming a diamond. And it's only there that this change can occur, this transformation. What we're really looking for is this beautiful sacred marriage between the masculine and feminine, where together she stands by her and he stands by her and she stands in her power. And that's the key in the lock, breaking us free. So, but there's a big transition coming energetically early next week with Mercury moving over into Capricorn, joining Pluto, making this disempowerment of the feminine about where we've allowed mind control, where we've allowed the fear programming, where we've willingly given over. We chose fear over love. And supernova souls, you have gone through hell and back. And you never gave up. And you've got this light inside of you, this sacred flame. This is the dream and the vision of what we know we're here to create. So again, it's her that gets us out of this trap, ultimately. So Mercury will be joining that battle. This will be a shift of energy because also this is on Monday. Mars will be moving over into Sagittarius. So here's the journey of the masculine. The feminine's going to fight for herself, to pick herself up and stand strong and true, to stand her ground in that Capricorn energy. Because you know where her power lies? She's got the earth under her feet. Even if you've been abducted and you're floating around on a spaceship right now, you can still connect to that living, breathing goddess, the great Mother Earth. She is with you. She will never leave you. And this is where we come back home to her. This is where we not only come back home to her, but we call back all of the parts of our soul. We call back all of the parts of all of the things that have happened to us, the deep, dark stories and nightmares, the parts of our soul that have been abducted and cloned, all of it coming home. And so this divine feminine, the great mother, because the earth represents a physical manifested form of the great mother, the power of the feminine. And so this Capricorn energy is about standing our ground, overcoming the fear programming. And the only way you really do that, apparently, what it's playing out, is when you're pushed into the corner. And then you can't fear your power because the external control is so powerful that you're too busy battling that. And then that is this intensity that cracks the seed pod of the starseed. And it's that starseed rebellion and revolution. Because as these powers within you activate, as you're pushed to that place where you can't think about it, you can't have any fear about it, there's just no room for any of that, the necessity of these times forces us into this flash of light activation as we're pushed into using our sacred God-given right of power. So everything in the astrology right now with Venus and Capricorn together and Mercury joining is about claiming our sovereignty. The outside control that's playing out in our world is going against our God-given right of humans, of sovereignty, that the human soul in the body is the highest form of authority. Okay, we know that now. And we have a new mantra. I do not consent to your authority over me. I exercise my God-given right of sovereignty and autonomy. I do not consent. I claim here now back my power. And that's exactly the same as this pressurized situation pushing us into the activation of our light and power. And then nothing can touch you. This is why you've been enlisted. This is why you've been abducted. This is why you've been taken into these dark programs, because you have the power. And now we claim it back. But it's a little tricky situation because Venus is feeling weak, beaten down, and now she's supposed to stand up for the last battle all alone? Well, because Mars is busy and distracted in the end degrees of Scorpio, he's down in the tunnels and he's fighting the depths of the darkness. At the end degrees of Scorpio, before moving over into Sagittarius. So early next week, though, that shift of energy, Mars coming back into bringing us all into the destiny of the divine masculine. Hey, girl, I see you are the power and the way and the light. And you only loaned it to me. And now I'm going to stand next to you, not because I want your power, because I want you in the fountain of light and hope and truth, in that intuitive power to flourish. And we stand with her, we walk with her, and we all stand our ground as we break free from this matrix reality for good. So this is the energy of December 2021. Now there's going to be a fallout with these retrogrades and a recapitulation and a healing and all that. But the flash of light, the pressurized push into this activation for the starseed souls comes right here in December. It all starts with the 1212 portal, the gateway into the future. So this 1212 portal move is from 1212 through 1221 and through the end of the year. Very, very powerful energies here, pushing us into this flash of light. And so be present, be strong, stand in your weakness, which is your greatest strength and your greatest truth. And you cannot falter. You cannot fail. So this is our most powerful moment here together. And everything we've done together, Supernova Souls, has led us to this point where we can stand together in this light of truth. So we've got a full moon in Gemini, completing the eclipse cycle. And this is the end game battle and the end of the end game battle and the beginning of the recapitulation and healing and moving into the new chapter for humanity. Don't lose hope now. Don't stand down now. This is why the incredibly powerful message to rest, heal, self-care, because now is our time and we need to be ready. So rest and prepare, huge messages. And so we've got one of the energies that's going on is that Mars at those end degrees of Scorpio is in square to Jupiter in Aquarius. And Mars in Scorpio is that deep dive into the darkest dark. And so he's not available to stand next to the feminine. She's going into council all alone, even though she's beat up and battered, beaten down and barely making it. But it's okay because she can stand her ground until the divine masculine returns. She's strong enough. We know this. And this is this weekend. As Mars goes over into Sagittarius early next week, rising from the ashes, rising from that deep, dark battle, and into the sword of truth. What we're doing here is the sacred marriage within the bridal chamber. The masculine and the feminine healed from the bad divorce, coming back into that sacred union, activating the cosmic heart for us all to step into our true power. So this is it. This is what we came for. And it all ends and it all begins here in these incredibly powerful times. So there are going to be changes starting to appear in our world and around us. And we know we're standing our ground. Ultimately, it's about the mind. It's about taking back our process. So this mantra of sovereignty can bring us right back into that place of truth and light and freedom. And the pressure can keep us from being distracted from or manipulated and controlled on any level anymore. So use this energy for you. I'm using everything coming my way to claim my sovereignty, my mind, my power, and stand with her. Stand with her on the mount. Stand with that Christed feminine. The miracle healing that was called the devil, because we really, really need her now. And don't back down. And don't give up. You are a warrior of the light. And you have no idea how crucial you are at this time. For all omniverses, all life everywhere, this battle on Earth is the last battle. And we already won. Now we've got to see it through to the end. And that's where we are pressurized into this activation, into our power together. So we've got that full moon on the 18th in Gemini, and that's this standing ground and standing tall and standing true, facing the opposites and coming back into that sacred union where nothing can touch us in that light. That full moon will be on the 18th. And so look out for an activation there. And then the solstice is on the 21st. And that will be, there will be a soul group session for the solstice the day before on December 20th. So look out for information on those events as we have this massive culmination. We're coming into the third and final square of Saturn square Uranus. The first one, we felt it in January. The first exact was February, June, and now the third and final. And this is about the physical changes in our world representing and finally showing us the evidence of the energetic changes that have occurred. The frequency has risen to a point where the dark programs, the dark arts, the dark energies can no longer, it's getting all short-circuited. And so all we're doing right now is just holding our ground in our light and letting the pressure push us into that massive activation of like, ah, look at the power I have here. Now I can stand by her and with her and as her and reach out to that divine masculine to find his way out of the dark and into the light. And together we go to council and step into that sacred marriage chamber, the bridal chamber with God, and become that chakra of God consciousness as we activate into our light body. This is the energy of these times. It's everything we've been waiting for. And no wonder it's intense. So get your game on for the end game, because you are that end game. And are you ready to shine? Not just know it in your heart, but absolutely experience that power. And nothing can touch you ever again. And here we are. So take heart. Be strong, know we're all together, and let's stay connected. I love you so much, Supernova Souls, and just brought to tears over the powerful and profound gratitude that's coming for Supernova Souls, for each other in the battle we've been in that we didn't even know we were doing, and we're almost there, so don't give up now. And the light ahead, the world ahead is so glorious and so beautiful beyond what we can imagine. So rest and prepare and stand your ground, be in your strength, and recite your mantra of sovereignty as we stay single focused on that sacred flame and put that keyhole in the lock and break the chains for humanity, for good and forever. God bless you, Supernova Souls. You are so amazing and so beautiful. I'm so honored to be here with you. I can't wait to see what's around this corner, and we're going to make it. So love you, and I look forward to seeing you soon on the next update. Have a wonderful weekend, and stand strong and right and true in your righteousness, in your Christed feminine, in your healer self, your miracle healer. No longer, yes, you're beaten down, but now it's time to stand back up in that power. I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.